In the heart of Australian outback, where the horizon seems to stretch on forever, we embark on a cracking motorcycle adventure. Our mission? To push Honda's 2024 adventure range to its limits, testing the capabilities of the Africa Twin and Transalp in one of the most demanding terrains on Earth. We're joined by motorcycle legend Daryl Beattie and his team.
The weather we've had and the rain that they've had out through all the way through Central Australia, right into this region, the Gascoyne region, you can see it's like carpet in the spring rains. It's absolutely stunning.
And we set off from Carnarvon, a small town nestled on the western edge of Australia. Our destination? Uluru, the iconic red monolith that stands as the spiritual heart of this vast land. The crew for this ride are flying in from the eastern states and New Zealand. As soon as we land in Carnarvon, Daryl is keen to head off and punch out 300 kilometres of blacktop so that we can hit the dirt the first thing the following day.
All good?
Go and do a couple of hundred and
Bang it out. It's my beast for the next few days as we cross half of Australia.
I'm ready.
All right.
Born ready.
200 k's out of Carnarvon. It's my first road train. They are big mothers. Daryl went straight through the middle of it, and I think it's going to miss me. Yeah, it's off to the side. Whoa, yeah, willy. Bit of full cream milk and cereal.
Yep, breakfast of champions.
And then the main meal of a sunrise like that. Bloody brilliant. So, Graham's going to get pumped up today, try out this Alpine Star tech vest.
Well, hopefully I'm not.
Well, that's, yeah.
Try out the comfort level.
Hang on, we'll re-edit, we'll start that again. Graham's going to try not to use the Tech Air vest today. Okay, we're on the dirt. I'm liking the suspension on this bike. It is soaking up all that small stuff, you know, this first bit. Very comfortable.
Dave, today's 300 kilometres. We've got about 75 of bitumen, the rest of it's dirt. We're off to an amazing place. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but if you think Uluru is big,
yeah,
this is even bigger.
Oh mate, can't wait. I know you got surprises for us. Daryl's a bit of a birdie too, and he's just spied over there, on there. Now let's see if I can pick it up. There's a wedge-tailed eagle up there. He's a long way. There he goes, he's flying. There he goes. He's flying along the cliff. So, Mount Augustus is our stay tonight.
In the early afternoon, we reached the base of Mount Augustus, the world's tallest monolith at 717 metres. Surpassing Uluru in height, it's a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. Unlike Uluru's solid rock, Mount Augustus is a stunning blend of sandstone, siltstone and conglomerate, shaped by millions of years of erosion. Following a quick blast around the base of the mountain, we set up camp on the Mount Augustus cattle station, which encompasses an area of 1 million acres. We head out for a spot of bird watching. Daryl's chasing a shot of a ringneck parrot, but they're proving elusive. The steak was good, the showers were hot, and there's always a patch of green grass to camp. I could easily spend a couple of days here looking around and climbing the mountain. And did I mention fuel? They're the only fuel stop in 300 Ks.
How was that riding today?
It was good, it was excellent. It was good to get out on the dirt.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
How's it going the dirt?
Really good,
Yeah.
really good. It's probably, with this particular bike, it's probably the rider that needs a bit of a tune-up.
Yeah?
But yeah, the bike done everything. Beautiful. Very good.
Yeah, it's got a good setup with the suspension, I hear.
Our sights are now set on reaching the town of Sandstone, a couple of days away. The riding is fast and open, but the odd corner can catch you out, and we found evidence of an unknown rider almost heading into the scrub.
Yeah, that off-road traction control is really good on the Honda. It's just seamless, allows the back to step out, just really good. And on these corners, you know, they've got like gravel, like about the size of that. And yeah, you want to be able to get on it and push that back wheel out to get around the corner if you're going a bit quick. So yeah, that's a really good feature on this bike. They've got that sorted.
Graham, there's some pretty disgraceful riding going on. I mean, it's just a corner.
And it's a nice long corner.
It's a long corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
it
what's
obviously,
this?
It tricked one of our
Our
one of our
participants.
crew.
He's come up. He's sliding sideways. Look at that. He's gone up. He nearly hit that tree up there.
Yeah. He's not sitting here, so I have to presume he's all good.
Yeah.
But he might need to change his jocks, Dave.
I think he will. Honda's to the centre. We're on the Daryl Beattie ring neck tour, trying to find these ring net parrots. He just hasn't got a shot yet, Graham, but he's going to get there. I know he is. It's got everything. Like before, he folds out the barbecue and we have a sausage, and now he just pulls out a fuel line and starts filling them up.
Oh, it's all for adventure.
There you go.
All for adventure.
Yeah, Scotty's all for
Oh,
Do you reckon we should go and catch a barra?
The clouded, fogged up windows paint the picture pretty well. A life he built on freedom that he couldn't come to sell. With that brownish woolen frock coat and his jeans, they weren't so good. On a street devoid.
Daryl's support truck is completely self-sufficient for a month, so we can camp anywhere. We ride until the heat of the day begins to drop.
29. He gets it just as the temperature starts dropping. Great day. How many Ks did we punch out?
Oh, we're just debating that. What were the Ks?
360.
360. Yeah.
Not a big day, really,
Yeah.
for us, but normally sort of hanging around 500's a normal day.
Simon, you're locked and loaded into this adventure.
Yep.
This is day 2. How are you going with it?
Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
It's one of the best experiences I've ever had. Yeah.
What about the flies? You liking the flies?
As long as I'm not eating them, it's all right.
And how's that Transalp treating you?
Love it. Yeah,
Yep.
very, very comfortable. You know, pretty easy to get the hang of.
Yeah.
And as each day goes on, and getting more confident on the bike and enjoying it more and more.
Yeah, so unlike Simon, Scotty's got the ultimate prophylactic for eating flies. It's working well.
They're still getting through, don't worry.
Now, you're a big bloke, Scotty, on a Transalp. How are you finding her?
I love it, actually. It's been perfect. It's well balanced, plenty of power. We're mucking up on them left, right and centre, so yeah, so far so good.
Comes on strong after what, about 4 or 5 or something?
Yeah, you got to be on it, but it's really adaptable. If you want to ride it hard, it'll light them up. If you want to cruise around and take it easy and just be nice and mellow, it does all that as well. So yeah, I've been really impressed with it. It's really well balanced. I love it.
How's your standing and seated position? You're a big bloke. What are you, 184?
Yeah, a little bit more, nearly 190. So
190, yep.
yeah, seated's really comfy. Seats are good. You know, I stand a fair bit, so
Yep.
it's absolutely perfect. So
Yeah.
pegs in the right spot, bars are perfect. Daryl's got them set up magnificent.
Yeah, so he's done a bit to the suspension on because they're not standard.
He's had to use a bit of extra spring for me, but
Yeah.
apart from that, it's all pretty much standard.
Highlight? You got any highlights yet?
Oh, it's this country, this country that you go through, and just meeting awesome people. And Levi.
Levi's different. He put a hole in the sump today.
he's causing a bit of havoc, but you need one of those on every trip.
Yeah.
It's just this country. Everywhere you go, you turn left, you turn right. We've seen a lot of wildlife. We've covered some Ks. It's just addictive. You can't get it out of your blood once you come out here. I don't know what it is. There's nothing out here, but it's beautiful.
Comes Graham. His trusty Transalp. Nice riding after breakfast. It's a beautiful 16 degrees.
We're making our way to the small town of Uluru, known to hardcore motorcycle adventurers as the southern start of the Canning Stock Route, one of the toughest and most dangerous adventures in Australia, if not the world. There is no way in the world I'm riding past the start without getting a taste of this iconic piece of Australian history.
So here's the Canning Stock Route. I've got to do 100 metres of it. You can't come all this way and not do 100 metres of it.
At an impressive 1,700 kilometres, the Canning Stock Route stands as the longest stock route in the world, stretching from Uluru in the south to Halls Creek in the north. This historic path traverses three formidable deserts, the Gibson, the Great Sandy and the Tanami. Constructed in 1910, the route features 51 wells, each strategically placed a day's walk apart, providing essential water for livestock on their journey to the markets.
God, it looks interesting, eh? Looks so interesting. Anyway, that's about as much as I'm going to do today. Yeah, I'd like to do that on my 501, I think.
The route has a brutal history, marked by the suffering of Indigenous people who were manacled, forced into labour and frequently murdered as pastoralists competed with them for water. This dark chapter highlights the violent and exploitative measures taken to secure resources, reflecting the profound impact of colonial expansion on Indigenous communities. The legacy of the Canning Stock Route is thus a complex tapestry of pioneering ambition and profound human cost.
Alright, going to go up to well 1 of the Canning Stock Route. Just a couple of Ks down here. Oh. You can go with Daryl on a tour of the Canning Stock Route. They do one. I'd suggest that's the safest and best way to do it. This is very isolated. If everything goes well, you're laughing, but when it turns to crap, I think, ultimately support is a good way to go. Well won. Look at this is the lushest I've seen the bush. It's amazing.
It's not in the best condition, but this was well won. Canning Stock Route, longest stock route in Australia, thousands of kilometres. Here's another water trough.
Whoa! We are covering big distances in this white brown land. Different vegetation. But one thing's constant, and that's that great big blue sky. Look at it. Wow.
Well, it's been a long time since I left where I'm from. To start the journey I'm still on to get to you. You see, I've come a long way. I'm not the man I was that day.
Contradiction well. Does that mean there wasn't any water in it?
Things that I wanted back then. On the road. I don't know what I'm running from. could happen here. Wouldn't happen there or anywhere else I'd go. Looking back, it all seems so clear, though I'm not sure how it led me here. But it don't seem that.
Brian, our Kiwi riding companion, how you going?
Yeah, no, not too bad, mate. A good evening, good feed and everything else that goes with it, so
Yeah.
all good.
That's good. Now, today, we've punched out, 470 kilometres.
Yep.
You getting to understand the Australian way of doing things on those big open stretches or what?
Oh, yes, you certainly do. You're winding the machine out to a fair rate of speed, and I'll tell you how fast it is. But the big whack today was on tarmac, which is, good, and plenty of scenery, left and right side.
Yeah.
And then finish up with a wee bit of dirt in the end, which now a pretty cool campsite, so all good.
Yeah, and how'd you find the Transalp on that sand, that last section, that last 45 minutes?
Piece of piss, mate. It's, it's a good motorbike, and it makes a poor rider bloody even better,
Yes.
It's just so easy, comfortable to what I'm used to. I'm used to a DR at the moment. A pretty cool bike, actually.
Last bit of road, we had tar all day, a bit over 400 k's, and then we just had a extended stretch of dirt at the end there.
Mate, that, I was fair hiking on that. That was amazing stuff. It was beautiful surface and lovely light.
Yeah,
it's just stunning.
Gorgeous. I don't know about you, I felt like Toby Price out there. It felt good.
Yeah, it was good.
Feel the front just sort of threw a knife through the sand. It was good. So
it's very wide, and I can't get over how smooth the track is.
It's extraordinary, and especially for all the trucks that you probably got the vision of everything going through today. But big road trains, all the service trucks, everything else. The surfaces are really good, and I think you and I have been a bit spoilt because that Africa Twin is very good at ironing out the corrugations. Yeah, it is.
It's amazing on corrugations. I was looking at that. They're about 3 to 4 centimetres deep, and it's just soaking them up.
Yep, it was, and no, even vibration through the foot pegs, through the handlebars.
Nothing.
It's perfect medium. You're getting enough feedback, but you're not getting too much vibration. So they've nailed that.
For the next couple of days, we're riding on the Great Central Road, an outback highway over 1,100 kilometres in length that stretches from Laverton in the west almost to Uluru in the heart of Australia. Occasionally, we head off-piste to give these bikes some rougher treatment.
How's that view, Simon?
Oh, it's incredible, mate.
Hey?
Incredible. I've always wanted to come out here and see this side of the country.
Yeah.
Originally I thought I'd be doing it with the family in the caravan and the four-wheel drive, but doing it on the back of a bike is a dream come true. Photos don't really do it justice. Actually being here and just seeing it, it's amazing.
Graham, you've called roadside assist.
Yeah, I've called roadside assist, Dave. Would seem that we're both pretty low on fuel.
A bit low. There's nothing in mine. None. Zip.
And I've been on reserve for 50 k's.
Oh, look what's coming down the road. What's that?
That is our fuel on wheels.
Fuel tanker on wheels. Mine is dead empty. I tell you what, this is a much better feeling than if you're on your own out here. Well, thanks for that, Scotty. Good to have some fuel. We're both underway again. Day 6 now, and we're really starting to get in a rhythm with this camping. Everyone's working together to get a start in the morning. And the place is running like a Swiss watch, actually. Oh, Brian, I just learned a valuable lesson, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, don't leave your jacket on the ground.
Yep.
See that brown dog?
Timber dogs running around here.
And he pissed in my jacket on the inside. Don't you hate that? I thought I was a seasoned adventurer. You'd think I'd know that. You got me right there. Don't you come back for seconds.
We arrived at Warrakurna just 100 kilometres shy of the Northern Territory border. Here lies the iconic Giles Weather Station, a hub of meteorological activity. Every day, without fail, a weather balloon ascends into the sky both morning and evening. These balloons soar to an astounding height of 30 kilometres before bursting and drifting back down. As they climb, they gather crucial weather data, which is then used to forecast the weather with remarkable accuracy. Well, that's what the brochure says.
Right, Graham, I'm getting off my beast I've had for days and I'm getting on your Transalp.
Indeed, indeed.
So this is a standard Daryl Beattie Transalp, which means it's had a bit of suspension work. Not much, but a bit.
And it runs a SC project.
Oh, yeah. Now the SC project gives us another 10 horsepower. So,
Daryl Beattie?
yep. First thing you notice, with a smaller capacity bike, there's less reciprocating mass, smaller engine parts. So it, breaks off the straight line pretty easily. It's a much lighter bike. I mean, that's the first thing. And I know it's not a comparison between the Africa Twin, but, you can't help but notice that. And a lot of people will appreciate that. Warrakurna Roadhouse, that's where we stayed last night. Good facilities, good shower, good toilet, and we were just over here. A bit of dust though, so transition to from tar to dust is pretty quick. Everyone's just spreading out. The other thing I noticed on this bike is it's got pivot pegs, and yeah, they're a good thing on this bike. They're very comfortable. Okay. Yeah, that's lighting up in third. The pipe has certainly made a difference. You can notice that's 10 ponies. 6,000. Okay, we're going to go down. Okay, let's go. 6, 8. That's 10. I got it to the red limiter there. Yeah, after 8,000 there's not much in it. Alright, that'll do me. Graham can have his bike back.
Right.
And just a little bit of modification, you've got yourself a bike, very reasonably priced adventure.
And it handles this stuff, no worries.
It's got lovely handling. That was one of the strengths of it right from the start. Its only weakness, it's a Transalp. Its history is it was designed to negotiate the Alps of Europe. Yeah. It was a soft dual sporter. Anyway.
As we approach the Northern Territory, the majestic Petermann Ranges begin to emerge on the horizon. These ancient hills form a natural boundary near the Western Australian border.
He quit believing in music, April 94. She brought back his faith with a kiss and a Cabernet. Too much time driving alone. Now they have each other, body and soul. She dances with him like the eye of a hurricane. Jesus walked on the water. He made a blind man see. We all just want someone to ride in the passenger seat.
We're now in the Northern Territory, home of the iconic rock formations Katajuta and Uluru. Uluru is a massive sandstone monolith that stands 348 metres high and has a circumference of 9.4 kilometres. It's a sacred site for the Anangu indigenous community who have continuously lived there for thousands of years. We lap the rock in celebration. We are almost in the dead centre of Australia. Our final day's ride will be to a cattle station just out of Alice Springs. The ride in will be one of the most memorable of the trip.
Just power sliding there all the way around. Woo-hoo.
We're on the final stretch of our 2,900 kilometre ride from the coast of Western Australia to Alice Springs. We've seen the country at its greenest best, with widespread rain right across the continent before we left. Our final overnight stay will be at Warrakurna station, and we'll sleep amongst an old movie set, and some will get a little too friendly with Fiona the donkey. For those who want more detailed discussion on the 2024 Africa Twin and the modifications Daryl makes to the Transalp to make them dirt-worthy, keep watching. A huge thanks to Daryl Beattie and Scotty and Honda Australia for having me along.
What's that thing about what goes on tour stays on tour?
Not when it goes to bloody social media. What a pest.
And now he's going to shower us in dust. And dust is a good thing in many ways, because this is our last bit of dirt, gentlemen.
It is. It is very sad to get rid of the red dirt and the sand.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard pressed to get back to civilization and bitumen roads and rules and regulations.
We've certainly been bending a few of those. There's our tar. This is our last bit of dirt. So I think it's only appropriate that you line up there and spray all the shit. And this is our last bit of dirt.
Yeah, sounds good. Are you sure you're going to be right doing that, Levi? I don't think I'm...
Can you do that? Are you okay? It's dirt.
I'm getting better.
Jesus Christ. Is that an Africa Twin topping out at refs? Okay. That's a nice way to finish the movie, isn't it? Look at the Africa Twin emerge from the dust.
Yeah, and then if we can give them a yell up the house to come down with the car,
Yep.
we'll give it to them.
Oh, well. The good news is that's on video.
That's good.
Yep. That's the dozen.
That's the dozen.
The current version of the Africa Twin, or more formally known as the Honda CRF 1100L, has been around for about 4 years, and over that time there's only been cosmetic updates. But for 2024, changes are significant, particularly for those riders who appreciate power and comfort and punch out big miles in the dirt. The engine's power delivery has been enhanced to provide more power and response to the rider input to the low and mid-range, and is an outstanding feature of the 2024 model. Comfort is also a focus of this upgrade, with screen and seat modifications. When you're riding for hours at speeds normally reserved for passenger jets, you gain a great appreciation of its aerodynamics. It was perfect and a significant improvement over the previous model. It's out of the way, easily adjustable, and delivered in providing me that cocoon of still air that is vital for long days in the saddle. However, it did get a little sticky after a couple of thousand k's in the dust, but responded well to a splash of windscreen washer water from a service station. There's been a slight but comfortable redesign of the seat, with increased seat cushion and thickness and a change in shape. No complaints from my ass despite hours in the saddle. It works a treat. Seat height does have two settings, 20mm apart on the standard seat, and that equates to 870mm and 850. There are taller and shorter seat options available. In addition to the upgrades of the L1 base model, the mid-level L3 model maintains its dirt orientation with a 21-inch front wheel, but picks up electronically adjustable suspension as standard, heated grips and tubeless tyres. There is room for improvement though to the access of traction control and ABS settings, which is unnecessarily complex and fiddly. Owners would get used to it and work with it, but 15 buttons on the left-hand switch block. Come on, Honda, really? Competitors do this so much better, and this is an area where Honda is lagging way behind. However, that aside, the 2024 Honda Africa Twin represents a significant upgrade over the previous model. The new, more responsive engine builds upon the existing excellent dirt handling and suspension. And the improvements in comfort are merely the icing on the cake and cements this bike as a reliable top contender in the dirt-oriented adventure tourer market.
Graham, we are out in the middle of nowhere. Literally, I saw a map a minute ago, a third of the way through Western Australia. And I've been riding that red one there, that Africa Twin. But we've got two models on the ride. So just fill us in. Like, what's the difference between these two bikes?
Okay, so Dave, we've got the one you've been riding is our base model Africa Twin for 24 year model. It's had some upgrades, and we call that an L1 model. The other model that's on the tour at the moment is the mid-range model, so we call it an L3 model. It's got some upgrades as well, and of particular notice is it now comes with electronic adjustable suspension.
Okay, so there are some changes to the bikes, and I want to shatter some myths on the internet at the moment. But let's just focus on the base model. Tell me what changes there are for 2024.
So the main change is probably in the front end. That's the main noticeable change. It's got an adjustable screen. It's the screen slightly higher, and obviously there's some slight changes to that. It's still the same off-road base model, so it's it's an off-road derivative, so it's specifically made for that. It has the same peak power, but it's a lot meatier in the middle.
I've certainly noticed that yesterday. It's great for power sliding. We might shatter some myths with the base model. That is a 21-inch front wheel, ladies and gentlemen. It's not 19, it's 21. And the other thing on the internet was that it had 3 centimetres less suspension. That's just not the case.
No, it's exactly the same suspension travel, same ground clearance. Everything's the same as the 23-year model.
Yep.
I think the confusion in the front end comes from the new L4 or the top of the range Adventure Sports model, and we don't have one here, but it obviously runs the bigger tank on the Adventure Sports. It's a little bit more road base, and this year in 24-year model will come with a 19-inch front wheel. Also, the suspension is slightly lowered, so there's about 20 mil less ground clearance as well.
Yeah.
So,
will they be on offer in Australia, the L4?
Yeah, they will. They'll be just in DCT.
Yeah.
They'll be available when they come in the next couple of months.
Okay, so we'll go across the Africa Twin, the L3 model. So what's the go with this one? So
well, as I said before, this has actually got now the electronic suspension, that adjustable suspension that the 23-year model Adventure Sports had. You could only get it in that top of the range. Now what's happened is the L3 base, so the mid-range base used to be an Adventure Sports, so it used to be road-based kind of thing. It's now based on the off-road model.
Right.
But what it's brought down now is the electronic suspension for full adjustability on the fly. This particular bike actually has an SC Project pipe on it, but where in Europe they've done some work with Honda to develop a pipe for it.
And it comes standard with a quick shifter, or is that an optional?
No, that's an optional, and not a lot of money though, and well worth the money. So,
$300.
Yeah, that's a bargain, I think.
I reckon that's a bargain. I look forward to riding that one. Well, Graham, we've punched out some miles. The bike we haven't talked about, and we will later, is the little Transalp. That's been going well.
Yeah. Well, we're obviously on the tour with all these Transalps at the moment, and I think it's a nice mid-range bike, and we've been punching along some Ks here and handle it very well. Okay, Dave, on this bike we've got a quick shifter fitted.
Here comes the boys. Here he comes.
Daz is off.
Daryl's gone. Hey, photo bomb, look at that.
Look at the Transalp.
Look at that.
We were just talking about it.
We're just talking, very impressive. Adjustable screen.
Well, it's really easy. You just press it in,
Yep.
slide it down.
Beautiful. And that's it.
And that's it.
Alrighty. Beautiful, mate.
Put it back in Sammy's mode.
Got to be happy with that. Daryl, I was talking to all the fellas last night who were riding these Transalp. Very impressed with them.
Yeah, I you know, it's interesting around I like the campfire chat, hearing different people talk about what they're riding and where they're at, and maybe it's not just the older, but that certainly that age group we get, that 45 to 65, even some older guys, and
Yeah.
you know, there's a Africa Twin or a big bike in any of the markets is a beautiful bike to ride. There's no question. But I think you're finding some of those older guys, and even myself in the early 50s, are going back to something in the middle of the range.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. You know, it really does need, there's no secret, it needs a suspension upgrade, which we've done to all the customer bikes.
Yeah.
And that first 5,000k trip across Australia, we had corrugations and washouts, and yeah, it's makes me happy that everyone's happy riding them, because it just gives you a little bit more confidence having something a bit lighter.
Well, it's a wide range of built sizes too. Like there's one guy there, Scotty, he's 188 centimetres tall, and they've got shorter guys, and they're all saying the ergos seated and standing are really good.
Yeah. I've started to feel a bit more comfortable on this yesterday. I got pivot pegs on it, so I can lean myself forward a bit more when I'm standing.
Yep.
I do find the ergo on the Africa, for me, I stand a lot off-road. I find that a little bit nicer, but the pivot pegs on that or this, but certainly this help you get that position a bit better. But yeah, it's and you can do all that. We haven't done any of that really yet. You can do more if you were really going to make it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. No, they're very impressed. And it starts off, the base price of these very competitive.
Yeah. By the time you do your upgrades and bits and pieces, you know, like this, I've got the full system through SC Projects, which is, you know, about another 10 horsepower. But it's, yeah, you spend the money, I would imagine, just plucking a figure out, 19, 20k, you've got
Great
perfect setup.
foundation.
You're done. Yeah.
All right, I know you got to get going. We're about a third of the way through Western Australia, and we keep heading east.
We'll see well one of the stock route today.
That's right. Yeah, looking forward to that. I've got a complaint. I never got near it. Levi, this bike. I tried to get it. He was stuck on it, wasn't he?
He kept it, I don't know, he had a bolt. He was bolted to the seat for 9 days.
Now,
when you're onto a good thing, don't let go.
Don't let it go. I went to move it in camp one night and I nearly got shot.
God. So the only thing I'm interested in, I like the bog standard one, but the thing that really tipped me over, what you were talking about, is the quick shifter.
Yeah.
$300, optional, bam. You just get that.
And I reckon it's money well spent.
Yeah.
It's fun, I guess, above all else, but it actually, you know, just banging up through the gears, especially you come to a big drain section where you got to bang through gears to wash off speed.
Yeah.
And you can just effortlessly go back up to top gear quickly and really easily.
Electronic suspension, Sam?
I'd really want to test yours to know the final answer on that. I think
9 days wasn't enough.
No, 9 days wasn't enough.
I don't want to give this up. I can't fold it. I mean, you do get a lot of pitter patter stuff like at the very top of the stroke with this. But then I played with some different modes and I found I was able to iron it out. But
right,
it's phenomenal. Like you can set it to one passenger and pillion, passenger pillion, luggage, and you actually feel the bike going up and down as a result of that. So look, I'm a massive fan of this thing. I think
you liked the noise of it too, didn't you?
Yeah, I like the noise of it. SC Project exhaust and a quick shifter is a good combination.
And you know what he had for 9 days and you didn't know? You know what you had for 9 days and you didn't know? Show me what you had.
Well, I knew today. Hand warmers.
Hand warmers.
Yeah, what a goose, seriously. I found it this morning.
Good on you.
There you go. So, anyway, great bike. I really enjoyed it.
No, mate, that was great riding.
Thank you.
Daryl, the Transalp was pretty impressive when I first rode it. I thought the ergos were good. I thought the engine was good. Everything I thought about it was good, except the suspension when you started pushing it in the dirt. I think you noticed the same thing, but you know, when you talk to all the riders, like you've absolutely nailed the suspension for a pretty reasonable price.
Yeah, it's well, it hasn't been me, but in conjunction with Paul Free, who's Moto Logic, he's now Bitubo Australia.
Yeah.
This setup we ran quickly, so this
Yeah.
is its first real run.
Yeah.
You know, what have we done? 9,000 kilometres across
Wow.
Australia and back, so it's had a proper run.
Yeah.
So he'll learn a bit out of this with information we'll put back, but basically is a Transalp base setup like this one, with your standard rear shock, standard forks. He'll respring it and do some valving.
Yeah.
You hand him your gear, he'll hand it back. It's about $1,700, which I think is pretty good budget. Obviously, my bike I'm running a level up from that at the moment.
Yeah.
Cartridges and bits and pieces, that's a lot more expensive, but this bike's proven they can run across
Well,
the country.
it's gone 1.5 laps of Australia, and the boys have certainly enjoyed riding them. They thought they were great. So apart from that, you just run this is an optional extra, isn't it? The engine
and
guard?
I think it's a really good one. It looks good.
Yeah.
I would personally, I like big foot pegs.
Yes.
All those little things that you would do yourself.
Yeah.
Bark busters we've put on. And I think really ultimately what it came down to was the price was competitive.
Yes.
You can then choose, are you going to commute to work on it? Are you going to go adventure riding on it? And whatever you do, that adds up. And if you get to where I'm at, I haven't done a number, but I'm thinking up to 20.
Yes.
I would think you got everything you need to do really good adventure riding.
Yeah, so only one other question, air filter. How long does it take to change an air filter on this bike, and how often?
They're brand new. I haven't done it yet.
Right.
Africa Twins are in behind this panel.
Right.
Initially.
This is not Africa Twins, it's the Transalp.
Firstly, when you're doing Africa, you go, oh my God, because it's got all the clips and bits and pieces. But when I do 11 at a time, you get pretty good at it. The Transalp's in under the tank, and you can pivot the tank. I'd imagine, taking a guess, I could probably do an air cleaner in 40 minutes.
About 40.
I think, 30 to 40 minutes. It may be quicker. Once you do a few, you get quicker at it. But it's different. It's under there. And I like that it's under there in some ways, and Africa's been good because if you do river crossings, having all that high is beneficial. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just go down to my Africa Twin, the bog standard Africa Twin. Straight off the boat, you get it.
Yep.
And this is the bike. My only question, because I've been so impressed with it, my only question I've got a couple of questions for you. The first one is air filter change for this one.
Yeah, same as the last model.
Right.
So
hang on.
So basically, what I do, so you undo the screws on the top of the tank.
Yeah.
You got some little scrivets in behind there that you pop out.
Yeah.
And then basically, it's got some rubber push in.
Yeah.
Pops out. You got to be careful with your clips here, and that all comes off. Then you've got a couple of bolts in behind. Here, the whole filter comes off, you replace it. So it's really easy. Again, the filters sit pretty high, which is good on Africa's. We've had them deep and you get that bow wave.
Yeah.
They're really good. So, easy to change on those. But again, when I first did it, I was like...
And of all those thousands of Ks, like you had 11 of them, 10 or 11 of them, like you've done thousands and thousands of Ks, do you have any problems with them?
No, nothing. Every now and then, just... We do fork seals and the usual stuff that you would do, but as far as steering, head bearings, wheel bearings and all that sort of stuff, we ran our last fleet to which is not a lot of Ks, but up to about 30,000.
Yeah, but it's tough.
It's tough Ks, corrugations rattle out, so they've been good, been really good. It's great, it's a great bike. I'd ride one any day, but at the moment I'm loving Transalp.
A little bit lighter.
A little bit lighter, and I just like it. You know, it's I'm not saying it's better, but for me, I like it at the moment.
Yeah, certainly lighter.
Daryl's done a terrific job.
Yeah.
Rarely do you go on a tour where every day your expectations are exceeded.
Yeah.
And he's got this thing nailed in terms of preparation, detail, and all done with a relaxed and sort of mate-like environment. It's been terrific.
It's
really
been great.
It's been great.
Yeah. And your Transalp?
Look, I've been pretty impressed with it. I must have been on the first day on the tarmac. I thought it was lacking a little bit of performance, certainly in that top 5-6 gear range. But on the dirt, it's been fantastic. And I think Simon mentioned the other day as well. You're going through those corrugations, and there's no jarring, there's no rattling, there's no. It sounds really solid, and it's really compliant. It just goes through really well.
Yeah.
It makes you a better rider.
Yes.
Then it really does. I think and if I had to say anything, I think preference with the Transalp would be dirt riding as opposed to tarmac riding.
Yeah.
I think that's where its strength is. But no, it's been a good beast.
You know the funny thing, the Transalp was actually designed to go over the Alps in Europe. That's what it's supposed to do. So it's supposed to be a soft roader.
Right.
And but we Australianise it. But yeah, I'm like you. I reckon it does it well.
Yeah, and certainly Daryl's tweaked it with
I'm
spring rates and valving. But and performance-wise, on the dirt, no question
That's
at all.
good.
No question.
Mate, it's been a pleasure riding with you, Horace.
And great to meet you as well, Dave.
Yeah.
Trusted subscriber number 1.
Well, there you go.